This is an update edition of Your Daily Detroit, recorded on Wednesday, March 20th, 2019. I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Sven Gustafson. Jer, we seem to have had a case of the Mondays yesterday on a Tuesday.
Yeah, sorry about that. In case you missed it, said that it was Monday, 2 shows in a row. Recorded on Monday, March 18th, 2019.
Recorded on Monday, March 19th, 2019.
Man, I feel kind of like this whole week is Mondays.
Indeed. It reminds me of that movie Groundhog Day. In fact, I just got done stuffing a whole bunch of donuts in my face, just like Bill Murray did in that movie. Because, if every day is Monday and you just repeat the same day over again, nothing matters.
Well, all that matters to me when you're eating donuts, are you eating Dutch Girls?
Indeed. And thanks to our man behind the scenes, Randy Walker, for pointing out that brain fart.
Daily Detroit is sponsored in part by the Rattlesnake Club. It's open for lunch, dinner, or small plates. You can check out views of the international skyline and the Detroit Riverwalk.
The Rattlesnake features a seasonal menu of locally sourced ingredients, daily happy hour specials, and an award-winning wine list. Make your reservation today at rattlesnakedetroit.com.
Ford says it will invest $900 million and add 900 jobs in Southeast Michigan over the next 4 years as part of plans to increase production of electric vehicles. Of that, more than $850 million will go to retooling the Flat Rock assembly plant. Ford says that's where it'll begin building electric vehicles based on its next-generation flexible architecture starting in 2023, along with the next-generation Mustang. Ford didn't name any of the EVs it plans to build. But before that, Ford plans to build a performance-oriented electric SUV starting in 2020. That vehicle was once planned for production at Flat Rock, but will instead be built at a plant in Mexico. Ford also says it plans to create a facility in Southeast Michigan to equip hybrid vehicles with self-driving technology for use in commercial ride-hailing and delivery fleets starting in 2021.
The Detroit Regional Chamber is putting its weight behind Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer's $2.5 billion plan to fix the damn roads. On Wednesday, the chamber released a statement from President and CEO Sandy Brewster, a longtime Republican who served in both Bush administrations. Brewster says, and I quote, "The Detroit Regional Chamber supports the governor's proposal to address Michigan's road funding crisis by generating $2.5 billion annually in new funding, with the preferred source being a gas tax or other user fee. The chamber looks forward to working with the governor and the legislature to finalize the mechanism and timing to achieve this goal." Whitmer spoke at the chamber's luncheon last week about her plan, which would raise the gas tax by 45 cents in 3 installments. Afterward, Brewster told reporters there was a growing split between business leaders and GOP lawmakers who have generally been cool to Whitmer's idea. The chamber endorsed Whitmer last year in the governor's race over her Republican opponent, then Attorney General Bill Schuette. It has also said that a previous $1.2 billion plan passed by Republicans and former Governor Rick Snyder was not sufficient. The group Business Leaders for Michigan hasn't endorsed Whitmer's proposal, but says it applauds her for proposing a bold solution. It released its own set of recommendations for how to raise more funding for roads earlier this month. Meanwhile, the Michigan Chamber of Commerce hasn't taken a position, but says it agrees that more investment is needed to fix the roads.
Coyote sightings aren't unheard of in Detroit. There was one last year, but rarely are they in the heart of the city. According to Click on Detroit, a coyote den has been identified near I-75 and Mac, near the old Brewster Recreation Center. At least 4 of them have been spotted recently and look healthy. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources has investigated but left the coyotes alone, saying that they weren't hurting anything. Coyotes usually eat rodents, rabbits, fish, frogs, and deer. In fact, their diet is usually made up of 90% mammals. The remainder is often insects and snakes. However, they are omnivores, eating meats and plants, including fruits and grass. It is true that coyotes have killed livestock and pets, but they usually go after animals that most consider pests. City coyotes, like these 4, will also eat pet food and garbage. But regardless, it's a good idea to keep an eye on your pets around here.
Jared, this reminds me of that kangaroo that got loose in the University District where we recorded the show. Remember that? Or how there's always goats being spotted around the city?
I mean, I have seen goats at least 10 times.
Just running around?
Yeah, you'll be driving along in a neighborhood and there'll be a goat, or there'll be either a goat behind a fence, but I've seen them in the road. Also, I had neighbors for a while with chickens that would often cross the road. Do you remember about that photographer who had that crazy idea to bring a tiger into the Packard plant? That was insane. That went sideways for a little while. I got to say though, when I first heard that there was a new coyote den in Midtown, I first thought that somebody had opened up a competitor to that She-Wolf restaurant.
Stay weird, Detroit.
Yeah, I know, right? So Lynn is not here. Sorry. But what he has done is he has signed a limited envelope. I'm here.
Detroit's premier theater stage got a dose of star power last night. Lin-Manuel Miranda, the creator of the smash hit Hamilton, appeared at the Fisher Theater after a performance of his hit musical. Miranda surprised the audience during the curtain call, drawing a tremendous reaction, as you heard from the clip. The Detroit cast was making a pitch for attendees to give to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. The charity helps folks with emergency financial assistance, healthcare, and medications across the United States. Hamilton continues at the Fisher Theater through April 21st.
Dan Gilbert is getting into the podcasting game with a new podcast called Speed of the Game that will premiere this week. The show promises to talk about entrepreneurs, Detroit, and companies in a shorter format.
We wouldn't know anything about short, right, Jer? I mean, say like a 10 or 15-minute podcast?
No, nothing. We know nothing about these things at all. The Speed of the Game's ethos from promo materials is, quote, if you can't keep up with the speed of the game, then you can't play, unquote. The guest list teased includes MSU basketball coach Tom Izzo, entrepreneur Mark Cuban, StockX founder Josh Luber, Dahani Jones, and Dr. Shahini Ghosh. She is an astrophysics professor. We'd give you a link to subscribe if you were interested, but, well, they didn't provide one. They just said, coming to a streaming service near you. A quick search of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Overcast turned up nothing for the show as of this recording.
If you can't keep up with the speed of the game, then you can't play. Sounds like a sneaker tagline.
A quick reminder that the 10th Marche du Nain Rouge is this Sunday. It's the one day where everyone gets together and chases the nasty red mythical devil out of town.
So if you haven't gotten your costume ready yet, it's time to pull out all the stops.
The march kicks off from Canfield and 2nd Avenue at noon and goes south on 2nd to the Masonic Temple. You can find the route map and more tips linked on our most recent City 5 list on dailydetroit.com.
Jared, just your pronunciation reminds me that I know everybody pronounces it Marche du Nain Rouge, but, you know, we're a town full of French names here, and it would really be Marche du Nain Rouge. Just like Dequinder would technically be Decandre.
Well, Charlevoix, is that correct? Or would that be Charlevoix?
Charlevoix, yeah. Quick little fun piece of history to send you out the door. According to our friend Ken Coleman, the first Kresge dime store opened on this day in 1897. Kresge would, of course, go on to be renamed in 1977 as the one-time retail juggernaut known as Kmart. You can follow Ken on Twitter at HistoryLivesDET. With that, I'm Sven Gustafson. If you love our show and want it to keep going, become a member.
Your support helps us grow the show, and we do special patron-only updates. There's a new one we put up on Friday. Join us at patreon.com/dailydetroit. I'm Jer Stays. Take care of each other, and we'll see you around Detroit.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.